Now, I'm nervous because I have some uh, news to share with you about more laws changing in states. I really hope that the report that I read is correct because it didn't go so great in Kentucky. So I'm praying in Virginia. I've got my facts together. Granted, I don't make up any of the information. I'm simply seeking and sourcing information that I can find from verified sources. But I'm hoping tonight when I share this news from Virginia that we'll, whether you're happy about the news or sad about the news, you won't say the news might not be factually correct. So Virginia had a pretty big change that happened. Their governor Spanberger signed into law this week two dental workforce related bills. The first is to allow internationally trained dentists to pursue licensure in the state of Virginia as a dental hygienist, permitting that they, do qualified training and that type of thing to prove competency. The second big one is that Virginia approved certain DAs to be allowed to perform supragingival scaling and polishing procedures under supervision. These are two direct laws to deal with the hygiene shortage and access to care issues that the state reports that they are currently experiencing. So, until they can expand hygiene education programs, they're going to have to leverage internationally trained dentists and dental assistants to fill in the gaps. And actually, the ADA was in support of this bill. I think they were looking at other states that have similar models in place that have been very successful. So, maybe that's the Alabama program where that's been proven actually very successful for the state of Alabama. If you're not familiar with it, it's a dental assisting training program under the supervision and training of general dentists who have attended and also pursued additional training education to be able to train their dental assistants to perform supragingival scaling. They're not doing SRPs or scaling, root planing, and periodontal procedures, but they are at least supporting the hygiene practice. So we'll see. I think this is all continuing to be a response for the fact that we can't find hygienists, and when we can, they often can be cost prohibitive to the bottom line. We'll see. Not an opinion, simply a fact. We talked last week about actually the HHS disabilities requirement, civil rights paperwork that was going to be required to be in place. The deadline was May 11th of 2026 if you had 15 or more employees. Well, they heard the cries from the people in the bleachers saying they could never meet this deadline and comply in such a short order. So now the entire rule has been extended to May of 2027. That is for individuals who have employees more than 15 or less than 15. So I would definitely take this opportunity now to read more about the act and the requirements that are housed within it, because it seems like while we have extended the deadline, we certainly haven't removed it. Now, this is an opinion piece. It's not news, other than teeth made the news yet again this week when the LA mayor, who's up for re-election, Karen Bass, mentioned that one of her platforms that she's really focused on is helping for the rehabilitation of teeth for meth addicts. She's received a lot of criticism from folks who believe maybe we focus on the meth addiction first and then we can do the rehabilitation. I'm going to leave that one out there and just let you stew on it in the comments. Go ahead, hit me up, blow me up, whatever you want to do. But she put it out into the ether, so now we have to talk about it. So she wants free dental care for meth addicts, and I don't think there was clarity on whether or not those would be in pursuit of recovery meth addicts or just currently active meth addicts. So anyway, there we are with that. The last interesting piece of news for the week: we may have just discovered the first evidence of dentistry. We thought maybe it was much more recent, but there was a tooth that was discovered in an archaeological dig that from a cave in Russia. It's a very fancy cave name that I'm not even going to dare pronounce on the show. that showed a drilled hole into a tooth that looked like a cavity. Now, this tooth looked very different than the dozens of others that they had found, which made the researchers believe that this may have been an activity of dentistry, one of the first early signs of dentistry almost 59,000 years ago. So they're intrigued. They want to dig a little bit deeper into this to see if actually humans were performing dentistry as early as 60,000 years ago. But at least for now, it proves evidence that we've been trying to fix decay. And that was without Coke and Dr. Pepper, as Chad likes to talk about. That was without processed foods and sugar and a heavy acidic diet. It was probably a Neanderthal diet, which is all the craze, by the way. And still, decay has been a problem. Maybe not as rampant, but still was present. So this has been the bane of the human existence since at least 59,000 years ago. And with that, that's the news.